From being a lawyer to a fitness entrepreneur, Sorab is the founder of the community SoFit. SoFit is a fitness community that comes together, be it at an early morning boot camp, an evening boot camp, a 21-day challenge, or a 40-day challenge. They come together to motivate each other to live a better lifestyle. The humblest of them all is Sorab, who is always pushing each and every member of his community, and I've never heard him say no or give up. Sorab, the one word that reminds me of him is dedication. Even on days of injury, he will have tips on how to do it with an injured foot, with an injured hand, but he'll make sure to inspire each and everyone who's a part of the community. Enjoy this interview as much as I enjoyed shooting it today. Hi, guys, and welcome to an episode of The Shan Show. I'm very excited to have someone that I really look up to and who inspires me every single day in a lot of the things I do, not only fitness, but just the everyday. Today, I have with me Sorab, who's the founder of SoFit. Sorab, thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited to have you here. And I think, like we were just talking about, but I know that you don't talk about SoFit and yourself, so that leave that to me. And everyone knows that I talk about SoFit a lot. And everyone says, oh, again, you're on the challenge. For me, it's about keeping in check. For me, it's just about being inspired. And you know how much I love community. So for me, that's a very big part of SoFit and my journey with fitness. So thank you again for being here. I'm going to ask you a little bit about how you started, because you were a lawyer before this. So tell me about how you moved from law to fitness and SoFit, which is the biggest thing today.
Fitness never actually left me. Fitness has been part of my life since I was 9 or 10 years old. It's just something that came naturally to me. It's something that I enjoyed doing from the first day that I kind of stepped into a gym or got onto that cricket field to play cricket. I had aspirations to play cricket for the country. Unfortunately, that I don't know whether I was talented enough or whatever, but that didn't happen. Fitness was something that I could control. It didn't require talent. It just required hard work. And I've always kind of believed that I am the hardest worker in the room. So for me, that kind of just was, I didn't need talent for doing what I'm doing right now. I just needed to work hard. Being a lawyer taught me a lot, right? It taught me a lot about how to handle situations, how to handle things. Law was my first love when cricket didn't work out. I didn't know when I was training back then, when I was a child, what was fitness? You had 3 gyms maybe in the whole of Bombay. And no one knew what the hell they were doing. And for me, it was just cricket. And if cricket didn't work out, it was law. I mean, I remember telling my mom at the age of 10 that, okay, if I don't become a cricketer, I'll become a lawyer. So law happened. I loved it. I loved every minute of it for the first 15 years, I think. I did it for, 5 years as an intern, 12 years as a lawyer, 17 years.
Wow.
It was fun. It was fun while it lasted. I enjoyed it. I worked with some really smart people. Some amazingly talented guys who were spot on with their analysis, with everything. And I had the pleasure of working in Singapore with Linklaters, which I still think was my finest experience. 4 years working with those guys was just was unbelievable. And I came back to India. I think I don't mean to sound negative, but I just couldn't hack the system in India. The system in India takes time getting used to it, especially when you come back from abroad. It's not something that kind of clicks in really well, even though I'd worked here for 8 years before I left. It kind of got to me. I reached a stage where I wasn't sure what I was doing. I mean, even getting up in the morning had become a bit of an issue. And then I was told that I was going to make partner. I guess as every kid growing up, when you want to become a lawyer, the first thing you look for, or the first thing you think about, is when am I going to make partner? Right? That's where I'm going to be partner in this law firm. That is what you kind of aim for.
Yeah.
And when I was told I was going to make partner, I was actually sad. It didn't make me happy. I remember sitting down, clearly remember this. We went to Cafe Zoe. I love that place. It's not there anymore, but I love that place.
Yeah.
We went to Cafe Zoe, me and my managing partner, the managing partner of my firm. And we were sitting down across the table. And he said, I have good news to give you. And I was like, what? He's like, you're going to be up for partnership and we're going to start the process. And, we'll fill you in. We'll teach you what you need to do to kind of make it, because you have your interviews, you have your committees that you need to get past. And I didn't react. I knew what the conversation was going to be about, but I didn't react. I just sat there and I was like, okay, fine. And I remember going back to my desk after that lunch, and all my friends were like, all my colleagues were like, congratulations. At least the ones who knew. Generally, the managing partner will take you out for lunch if you're getting sacked or you're getting promoted. No
Yeah.
other reason.
Yeah.
So they knew I wasn't getting sacked, and some of them congratulated me, but it just felt empty. It didn't feel like, I was like, dude, was this what I was working for 15 years? It didn't click for me, and then I kind of had this thing in me to do something in the fitness space, and it was there for like the last 8 years. It's been there since before I even went to Singapore. I remember telling my friends about it, and back then they laughed at me. They were like, dude, are you mad? Who does fitness? What? Do you want to be a trainer for the rest of your life? Are you crazy? I looked at it as something different. It was a passion project for me. I wanted to make it the coolest thing around. I wanted to be like the coolest coach around. I didn't want to be a trainer. I wanted to be a coach. And at that point, I didn't have the guts to do it. I was single. I had no responsibilities, but I didn't have the guts to do it. And 8 years later, with a child and full-blown family behind me, I somehow managed the guts to say, okay, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm going to kind of go up there and do what I want to do. Of course, I mean, I had the right kind of support. I can't take away what Danish did for me in that period, right? I mean, It's very difficult for a wife to kind of sit back and say, okay, you want to quit your job.
Yeah.
We just had a kid, but you want to quit your job and do something absolutely new. And I was like, the backing I got from her, from my family, from Delna, Delna.
Yeah.
I remember my first conversation with Delna, and Dani set that up for me, by the way. We sat down at the Ministry of New. We were having a conversation, and it was supposed to be a 2-minute conversation. I walked in there. She said, I want to talk to Saurabh, because Danish had spoken about what my passion was. And I said, I want to talk to him. And I went in there. I expected a 5-minute conversation. I said, done and dusted, I'm going to leave, and that's it. We sat for about 5 hours. We spoke about every single thing that I wanted to do. And when I was leaving, I was like, so what do I do next? She said, you're going to quit tomorrow. I was like, okay, then I'm going to quit tomorrow. Obviously, it didn't happen. I didn't quit that fast. It took me a while. I kind of sat down with the family. I troubled Delna a lot. I troubled Ajay uncle a lot, Ajay Piramal. He's been an amazing support to me. And we sat down, we thrashed it out. We didn't have a business plan. I don't know if I still have a business plan. I'm being very honest, right? For me, it was just about living the moment and having fun. And they were all really supportive. So that's honestly how SoFit happened. I've been very lucky with the support I've had. Priyanka Kapadia, for example, the first person I ever trained. I mean, I call her my sister. She's possibly the biggest pain I've ever met. But I love her to death. And she also was always there. She's always been there as a support. So I can't take away what my family and my friends have done for me.
Absolutely. And I call Danish, who's your wife, Mrs. SoFit, every time I speak to her. And I think that, like you said, when you're quitting a job with a child and a wife, and then the wife married you as a lawyer, and then you're like, okay, I'm just quitting my job. I don't know what next. So kudos to her for even backing you on that. And she's a very big part of SoFit. Yeah. So I do know that the value that she adds as well. Yeah. So this is a huge inspiration, because moving after 15 years, someone would say, okay, I've done it for 15 years. Why quit now? And you actually took that step and went ahead. So amazing, Saurabh, and look what you've created. So that's my next question is, how easy was the transition from law to fitness and to create this community? And, SoFit involves a lot more of being out there, brand awareness, a lot of marketing. So law is very different in that sense. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of desk work. It's a lot of client calls. So what's that been like?
It's been interesting, if I had to put it that way. Going out there was, again, I was a very shy kid growing up. I was a very shy boy through school, through law school, through my work years as well. I'm going to give credit to Danish, because when she met me, I basically couldn't string maybe 5 words to a girl alone. So she's obviously kind of brought that out in me, and she brought that confidence out in me in terms of just talking. Linklaters in Singapore did a huge thing for my confidence. I mean, going out there and talking to people in different time zones and discussing it with them and being the lead on a lot of transactions obviously made a massive difference to the confidence level, to be able to deal and manage people. So I'm going to give a lot of credit to my wife for that as well. I think she kind of really helped. She's helped me a lot on the business side. Being out there, I think I enjoy it. I enjoy feeding off people's energy. That's the one thing I've missed through the pandemic is just being out there with the campers, right? I love them. I love each one of them. I think I feed off their energy. We get along really well. And we've had a really good relationship. It's been great that everyone I'm training today, or at least the ones I trained when I started, are still with me today, barring maybe a few, but the guys, like majority of them that I started with 3 years back are still there. They still come to camp at 7 in the morning. And some of them come from Bandra. Some of them come to Lower Parel from Bandra. Some of them come from Napeansea Road and Malabar Hill at 7 in the morning. It's not easy. And they make that trek. So it's all credit to them. I'd like to think I've kept them happy. I like to think that we've kind of just had fun as a group, and other people have fed off that energy. Other people have kind of come in and wanted to be a part of that community because of the energy that we've given out to people. I mean, you came in through VG, right? VG came in through Navi. I've never gone out there and marketed myself. I just don't believe that. I mean, it's important, but it's not be all end all for me. For me, I want people to talk about what we're doing, and I want people to say, okay, this is a great brand. This is great. They're doing some good stuff. Come and check it out. And that for me is way more important. So that's basically been the philosophy as far as community is concerned. For me, my community and my people are everything. They don't need to be celebrities. I don't really care about that. I care about just people who want to make a difference and people who want to live a certain lifestyle. And we're all having fun together. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's been tough. I don't think I ever had the confidence to go out there and trust me. My first day at camp, when I sat there and there were 12 or 13 people looking at me, I was like, I'm supposed to talk now. This is going to be interesting. But that confidence has grown over time, and now it's just fine. It's just what I do. So it's fun.
Absolutely. And like you said, the friend that introduced me also, he's been with you from day one. And I think that there are some people that I've seen once they join SoFit, for them, there's no looking elsewhere. And that is a sense of community as well, because it's the people around you that keep you together, right? So even if it's you and your team, it's a lot of the people that are part of the camp. Now, Saurabh, I know this about you. Like you said, you don't care about celebrities. You don't care about, it's about everyone, right? You are a fairly reserved person, and you make no qualms about saying that. You say, I'm very reserved. I like to keep to myself. Being a business owner, the first thing a lot of people say is go out there. Like even Delna would always tell me, what are you shy about? Go out there, you have to make conversation. So has that been tough for you? Because you need to be the face of SoFit, and SoFit is basically you having to do videos, having to talk to people constantly. You're talking in a challenge, you're talking to a few hundred people at a time. How's that been?
I am a reserved person, but I'll just correct you there. SoFit's not me. SoFit's this entire team that kind of works together. I think I'd be doing myself a disservice if I say it's all me. I can only do so much. I think my team, everyone, I mean, from Noni to Mehak to Parvez, I mean, every single one has been unbelievable. And they're all headed by my wife, of course. She kind of handles the business side of things. I believe that there's two sides to every person. There's your personal life and what you are like in your personal life. And I have no qualms in saying I'm a very boring person in my personal life, because I like the simple things. I just want to do my thing. I want to work, and I'm happy, right? I'm happy spending time with my kid. I don't need to go out and party and meet people and get drunk. No, it doesn't interest me. But my professional life, that's when your game face comes on. You're not who you are, right? It's like I used to tell people. I mean, all my friends who've seen me play cricket, for example, will be like, you're a different animal when you're on the field, because you're so confident. You're just doing your thing. You're not worried about what anyone's thinking. And that's the same with work. If you know what you're doing, you'll be confident. If you have enough, I mean, if you back your abilities enough, you'll be confident. You'll be able to deal with stuff. Do I like facing the camera? No, I hate facing the camera. I wish someone else could shoot the videos. But it's fine. It's what I need to do for work, and I know I need to get it done. And I'm very confident when it comes to the work I'm doing. I'm not worried about that. Okay. So there's a different person that you will see when I'm working or when I'm at camp or when I'm teaching someone. It's a very different person. I'm fooling around, I'm sarcastic, I'm jumping, and I'm taking their case. But you meet me alone in a party, and you may have met me at weddings or whatever. You see me, I'm sitting in a corner by myself. I'm not having conversations. I'm not going around and, with a drink in my hand, dancing on the floor. None of that stuff. I'm just sitting in the corner by myself. So I think I have two people in me. One that switches on when work starts, and one that kind of just switches off and does his own thing when work's not going on. So yeah, it's been easy from that
I
perspective.
think that's actually great. I think that the fact that you manage that is great, and you love what you do, and that really helps, because you wake up every morning excited to spend the day doing that, and that really helps. Okay, so I want to ask you now, in the last 1 year, we've all seen that communication has changed in a big way, and a lot of businesses have changed in a big way. Social media is so big. WhatsApp, we have WhatsApp groups when we do the challenges, Zoom and stuff. How has that been for you? Has it been a better way to communicate with your audience? Do you find you've become closer?
100%. It helps. I can't take away the fact that, Zoom has not helped me through the pandemic, or WhatsApp has not been great for me on the challenges, or Instagram has not helped us market ourselves.
Yeah.
We've not spent any money on marketing ourselves. We just do what kind of comes and what we put on. But the one thing I've always told my team, and the one thing I kind of live by, is just be honest. Even if you're putting up a post or you're doing anything on Instagram, just be honest. Okay. If someone doesn't agree with you, fair enough, that everyone has a right to agree or disagree. But you put your philosophy out there because you believe in it, and just be honest with them. Be yourself. Don't try to put on a fake face in front of everyone and try to be all cool.
Yeah.
And just do your thing. If you've seen my posts and you've seen the way I talk on Instagram, it's just me. I'm just talking the way I would talk to people. I know Mehak keeps telling me this. She's like, okay, can you shift some of your gyan onto me, considering? I'm like, but no, it's not gyan. It's just me being honest with the way I want to talk, right? And so, of course, it's helped. It's been massive in trying to get through to people and trying to put your point across, right? It's a question of putting your point across. I respect people who agree with it. I respect people who disagree with it. And it's been great. It has its downside. I think you get trolled enough. You get told a lot of things that you really don't want to hear, and you get abused also at times, and that's happened. But that's fine. You take the good with the bad. It gives you a lot of pros. It does have a few cons, but you take the good with the bad.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking about the pandemic, I want to ask you one more thing, because I was part of your challenges during the pandemic, and they were really what kept me going. I think I stayed active thanks to SoFit, and I'm not saying this because I'm talking to you, but you very well know that. Now a lot of small businesses which are part of my community kind of pivoted and did so many different things. Do you think it really helped you with SoFit? Did you pivot into something different? Because I remember when the lockdown hit, you were going to cancel the challenge, because how are people going to get access to a gym? But eventually it all worked out. So how was that for you?
To be honest, apart from training people online on Zoom, we didn't actually pivot. The challenge was something we had started in April 2019, a year before the pandemic actually hit. It wasn't something that, we had to suddenly reinvent and start doing because the pandemic hit. We were already ready. As a team, we thought about this for a while. No, I'm not saying we thought about the pandemic. I'm just saying we thought about people working out at home and giving them access to the right tools to do it at home. And of course, when the pandemic hit in March, I remember that, I can't forget that day. It was a Friday. The challenge was starting on Monday. We had a few hundred people. I was in the car when my team sent me the message, because we were like, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Is there going to be a lockdown? Not going to be a lockdown. I said, we will go ahead, right? We will see what happens. And then on Friday, my team sent me that message saying, dude, it's lockdown. Now what do we do? It kind of made me think about whether we want to do the challenge or not. And that's when I picked up the phone and spoke to Delna. I've been blessed that I have the right people to kind of use as a sounding board. And I picked up the phone and I spoke to her and I said, listen. And she's like, Saurabh, what do you want to do? I said, I wanted to go on. I know it's going to be challenging. I know it's going to be, we're going to have to revamp the whole thing overnight in terms of the structure, but I think I can do it. And she said, okay, then that's your answer. then do it. Like, make the most of it. Make the most of the opportunity. Look at it as an opportunity. Don't look at it as a, oh my God, what am I going to do? And that helped. That really helped. That made me feel a little more confident that I could pull it off. I was at camp that same night after I spoke to her. I finished camp. I called a team meeting. I said, we're going to meet maybe for the last time this year, but we're going to meet in the office. Let's talk about this. And I went in, we spoke about it as a team, and we took that decision to go ahead. But what I also wanted to do was be fair to people. So we sat and emailed every single person who joined the challenge saying, guys, if you want to back out or you want to defer to another date, I'm happy to let you do that. Okay. I don't want you to, suddenly think that, now what am I going to do? At the back of my head, I knew that, okay, I have 40 days of workouts to rework and make sure we have body weight options for everybody, right? People might not have weight. So let's make body weight options for everybody. So I sent that email out, and out of whatever 100 people we had, 5 people chose to differ, right? And that gave me more confidence. I was like, okay, then we can definitely pull this off as a team, right? I obviously was lucky. I had Alia to support me. Alia's always been a great support. Yeah. And when I spoke to her as well, she's like, 100% go ahead with it, right? We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And that also kind of helps. And I revamped the workouts. I spent 2 nights sitting up and trying to kind of make sure we get everything in place. And after that, it was that. I mean, we never looked back. And that's what happened with the challenge. And for me, the challenge was never something that we created for the pandemic.
Yeah.
We were already doing it. So it was fine. We knew what we were doing.
Awesome. And it really worked. It really worked for me. I have to say that. Okay. So I want to ask you, a lot of people say, okay, the SoFit 40-day challenge is now, everyone knows about it and everyone asks, are you doing the 40-day challenge? Some people say, oh, there's so many, it's done to death. How many can you do? But the SoFit 40-day challenge is also something that's the most popular and everyone wants to be on it. What is your secret, you think? That I know you'll tell me, no, it just worked. I don't have a secret. But tell me the one thing that you really think that has kept this to be popular and just keep going.
I wish I knew the answer to that. Maybe I'd work on it a little more. No, I think we just work really hard. I have a great team. I can't pull this off on my own.
Yeah.
Right? I have a great back-end team. I have a great team of coaches, a great team of nutritionists. Everyone's looking into it. And genuinely, the entire team is really passionate about making a difference. If you're doing a challenge just for the sake of doing it and for making money, you're going to falter because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to kind of say, okay, now I'm done with this. I can't deal with this. Right? You get the same questions, and I've seen this, and you've seen this. You've been on groups, the same question asked again and again and again and again. And if you're not in it because you want to make a difference, at some point you're going to just snap and say, dude, come on, man, we've answered this 1,000 times. Can you not understand this? But for us, we genuinely care. We do want to make a difference.
Yeah.
We do want people to see a better side to life and make that lifestyle switch. So that's it. That's all that it is. We've just tried to kind of make sure that people do things the right way. Okay, let's not say the right way. Let's just say the way we want them to do it in terms of a philosophy, right? We want them to buy into that philosophy. We've been lucky that people have bought into it. And that's about it. Apart from really caring about the product and what we are trying to do and genuinely believing that it makes a difference to people's lives. Come on, if someone keeps coming back and wants to do another one and another one and another one, it tells you you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
You can't be doing it wrong. Someone keeps coming back to do it. So, that's it. Just genuinely care about the people doing it. You've seen I didn't know you before a challenge. I didn't know you at all.
That's true.
And I care about each person who's doing it. Your SPC group is what it is. It's become family for you guys. So that's
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have to say, the one word I would use, and from what you said, is patience. I think each and every one of your coaches who are on our groups and including you have a hell lot of patience because, like you said, the questions are asked multiple times. The same things are asked. People who've done 10 challenges will say, can I have this rice? Can I have that? But it's just patience and trying to explain to you that this is a lifestyle change and this is your lifestyle. So I really appreciate that. Now, before I ask you a few more fitness related questions, I want to ask you one question which is very important to me, and I had also written to you some time ago about this. Copycats and people that just are not original and cannot really just use their own mind and create something. It's something I've dealt with in the past. People try to copy everything, be it from when I started Spicy Sangria to networking now, or anything you even put out on social media. It's like they literally copy paste and use it. I know you've been through this, and I want to know how you've dealt with it. What's been your experience? Doesn't it piss you off?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said it doesn't.
Yeah.
Of course it does. You work really hard on a product. You work really hard on a business idea. You test it, you retest it, you do your pilots, you kind of come up with your own concept, and someone else just takes it. Fine. I mean, that's just the world we live in, right? There's nothing you can do about it. There is absolutely, I mean, in the younger me, 2 years back, used to get really upset. I mean, if I was myself at 35 when I started this business, and if I was that person right now, I'd be fuming. I'd be screaming and shouting at everybody. But now I think you've got to take it as a compliment. Yeah. You don't get copied unless you're doing something right. No one's going to copy you if you're doing something wrong. No one's ever going to copy you if your model is not working. They're copying you because it works.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone else thinks, okay, SoFit copied my challenge, right? It's always the case. Everyone thinks someone's copied someone's idea.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe, and we did a lot of research before we started the challenge. What was out there in the market, what was happening, and what we were doing, we wanted to make it different. We wanted it to stand out. So we did things differently. When we started out, I don't think there was any challenge that happened on WhatsApp. I don't think anyone kind of sat there and did the reporting the way we did.
No.
So for us, we knew we were doing something different. And if someone copies that, yeah, it upsets you. But like I said, I mean, Karan, I trained Karan, and Karan told me this, and he says, Saurabh, people will only copy you or say bad things about you when you're doing well. If you were inconsequential, why would anyone say anything bad about you?
Yeah.
So the fact that people are not talking about you is what you should be worried about. People are talking about you, good or bad, you should be happy about it. So I try to implement that every time I think of these things. It doesn't always work. I do get upset, but you've got to kind of deal with it. And there's nothing you can do about it. So you just have to kind of accept it and move on.
Absolutely. I think coming from someone like Karan, who's always trolled all the time, unfortunately, you need to really realize you just don't, I mean, I've realized that over time, I just don't care anymore. Like you said, if 2 years ago, maybe the anger and, the words that would have probably come out of my mouth would have been different, but move on. We just have to move on and live in the moment.
I still get upset. Don't get me wrong. I still get upset. But the only person who hears about it is maybe Danish. And then maybe to an extent my team, the ones I trust, and I trust all of them, so they will hear about it, and that's it. And we leave it between ourselves. We don't kind of go out there and talk about. We don't badmouth anyone. We're not interested. It's not been my style ever in life. I'm never going to say a bad thing about anyone else. So that's just the way it is. That's fine.
Yeah. Absolutely. So now I want to move on to a little bit of the fitness, the nutrition, and what SoFit really stands for. I want to first ask you a very technical question. I know you have a 40-day challenge and a 21-day challenge. A lot of people ask me this question when I tell them to sign up, or when I'm like, I'm doing this. What is the difference?
One's more intense. And that's why it's called the SoFit 20-day intensive challenge. In a 40-day, I get 6 weeks to build a person up to a certain level till I can go crazy on them. I want to build them up to a certain level. It also gives me a chance to kind of differentiate between levels of a person that comes in. And you get 6 weeks to kind of mold them into what you want. In a 3-week challenge, it's more intense. You're working out 6 days a week. It's a little more intense. And you don't have time to kind of, change habits. You've got to get people who've already kind of understood the mindset, because they will move quickly with it. Of course, the world we live in, everyone likes shorter duration. No one thinks of it as, oh my God, 6 weeks. They'd rather do 3 weeks, right? Let's be honest. So would I. But if you ask The difference is in the intensity. Not that the 40 days is not intense. It's just that the 40 day, the intensity builds up. In the 30 day, in the 21 day, I just have to go for it from day one. There is no time to build up as far as intensity is concerned. So that's the difference between the two.
Okay, great. I hope that explains it for anyone that, has wanted to know this. The next thing I want to ask you is, how important is nutrition when it comes to overall wellness and fitness? Now, this is something I've really learned from SoFit. I used to go on these crash diets, and I'm not saying I'm skinny, but I used to go on crash diets, and I used to always be very unhealthy when I never watched my food. So I thought I ate a salad, and then at the night I ate a sandwich, and I thought, okay, I ate that salad, so I'm fine. But I think SoFit has taught me that balance and has taught me what I'm putting on my plate. So now when I go out, I don't really choose the fried stuff. I don't really choose a lot of the stuff. So I know that the food is a very, very big part. So can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
I mean, food's a very important part. I think the one thing that we've wanted to change is people's relationship with food. And we're not saying anything is bad. The one thing we need to understand, the one thing I want to put out there as far as SoFit restricts you from eating stuff. We don't restrict you from eating stuff. We want you to eat your carbs. We want you to eat your protein. We want you to eat your fat. We're not keto or paleo. I've done all these diets in the past. They work for a short duration. What I've kind of found works in the long run is just understand what you're eating. Just put it on a plate, understand what's in there, and know what you're eating, know what you're putting into your system. Get the right education, right? And that's been our food. We don't want people to feel bad about certain things. Of course, we have certain things we want you to stay away from during the course of the challenge, but that's because we're trying to break bad habits. Now, everyone in the world knows refined sugar is bad for you. I don't need to come out there and tell you that. But what people need to understand is that once you break that habit, which is what we want to do, then you know when you need to hold back and when you need to go. You don't need to always eat and always. I've seen people, they've finished a massive meal, they're done, they get up and I can't move anymore. But put a cake in front of them and they'll go and eat that cake. I'm hungry, I need to eat. That's emotional. Right? So that's not adding any value. I think it's worse for your health. Right? So the idea was, let's educate people, let's break certain bad habits. Let's give them value from their food, because that's what you eat for. You don't invest your money in a stock that's going to tank. You invest your money that's going to give you a return on investment in any stock, like a businessman, right? So why don't you apply that same principle to your food? Why don't you make sure that the food you eat gives you something back in return? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that, don't ever eat your sugar, don't ever eat this. I'm saying, let me break some habits. Once I break that, then you'll know what you're looking for. You'll make the right decisions on your own. I want people to be independent. I want people to think for themselves. We don't give diets, right? You've been on enough challenges. I've never given anyone a diet. I don't even give anyone a meal plan. Forget diet. I've been asked 1,000 times about a meal plan. I'm like, I'm not giving you a meal plan, because what works for me might not work for you. Right? Let's understand that. And I've had the opportunity to interact with some amazing nutritionists. I have 2 amazing nutritionists on my team. And I've had the chance to talk to Gemma Pardos. Anyone who knows me knows that when it comes to nutrition, I really look up to what she says. And she's looked at what we do on the nutrition side, and she's blessed it. And to me, that's huge. She is Rafa Nadal's nutritionist, for God's sake. And if she's blessed it, he's my sporting idol. He's someone I look up to. Yeah. And if she's blessed it, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to trust the judgment that we're making. And that's it. So I've met a lot of girls who say, I'm not going to eat carb. I'm not going to eat carb because it's going to make you fat. Where's the carb? What's the problem? Just eat it, right? But choose the right one to eat. That's the only thing I'm saying. Just be smart about it. Know what you're eating. After that, what you put into your system is your individual decision. But at least let's make sure you're making the right decision. That's all. I'll give you the right tools to make the decision. So that's been my philosophy on food. That's been our philosophy on food. And I think people have kind of seen the benefit of it and have done well because of it. And I don't see the need to change it at this point in time.
Absolutely. So for me, what you've spoken about exactly, I've struggled with my weight all my life, and it's a struggle for me. I've loved the SoFit plan, because I think for me, the basic thing is it's changed my relationship with food. And that's exactly what your aim was. I don't look at food as evil anymore. And I don't look at what I'm eating as, oh God, why am I eating this? But I've made huge changes and that makes me feel better. So thanks for that. Moving on to some lighter last two questions, which I have for you. One that I want to ask you is, what next for SoFit? You've really gone all out. You've achieved so much and it's commendable. What next? I'm sure knowing you, you have many, many plans.
Yeah, there's a lot that I have in mind. I remember this quote that I did. I don't even remember it exactly, but I just said, fix a goal, have a goal for yourself, strive, go get it. Don't talk about it. Let people talk about it when you achieve it. So I'm going to kind of live by that. My team knows what I want. We know what we're going for. We know what we want to do. We know the direction we want to go in. And that's pretty clear from an internal team perspective. Have we achieved what we wanted to? I don't know. I sound really, really greedy and selfish in the same sense if I said no. But genuinely, what we wanted to do was make a difference in people's lives. And I think we're doing that in some form or the other. So we're happy. We're happy where we are. I'm happy where we are as a team. And am I satisfied? No. I still have a lot I want to do. I still have a lot of things I want to get accomplished. And I still think we have a long, long way to go in terms of what we want to do. So that will continue. That won't change. And you know me, I don't talk about, I know you messaged me once about someone I train and I didn't put it out. She's like, why didn't I know you train this person? And I said, it's not important. And it's not. So when it comes out, people talk about it, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. And I love that about you and SoFit, that it's everyone's equal. So everyone that's part of SoFit is important to you. The next thing I want to ask you is, okay, if you had an aha moment and you were like, okay, I've made something of this community, what was that? So maybe a huge transformation, or if someone walked up to you and said, listen, I want to train with you, or something.
I know, I don't think I've had that aha moment yet. My aha moment is a while away. What I would call my moment is a while away. But honestly, I have these moments every day. People just change. The messages I get sometimes, you changed my life. You made me understand the benefit of exercise, or I was borderline diabetic and now I'm not. Vic, for example, 175 kilos in August 2019. 89 kilos or 90 kilos right now in Feb 2021. So 90 kilos down. All these moments feel great. I mean, Alia calling me up and saying, I want to train with you. I remember once I was training Karan, and this was long back, and we were talking about it. And he said, who from this industry would you train, or would you want to train? And hers was one of the names I mentioned. And it happened. And I said, it'll happen. And I just said, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. We'll work. And she's an amazing girl. We're like, she's like family to me now. She's just someone I get along with really well. And everyone else I've trained. I mean, Kiara, everyone, I love all of them. I can't take away. Kiara's my first. Well, I was asked this question the other day. I was talking to someone. I said, who was your first A-lister? I said, what do you mean by A-lister?
Oh my God.
So I said, okay, someone who's an actor. And I said, Kiara was my first. And she's amazing. She's a great girl. So, you can't take away from any of these people. They're amazing. So all of these have been aha moments for me.
Yeah.
Some
we don't speak about as well. Definitely an aha moment for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. Let's say it was fun training him. But my aha moment is a while away. I know where I want to be. I know what I want to do, and when that happens, I will. Like Karan keeps telling me, he's like, you're the one expression person. Whether you're happy, sad, upset, angry, it's only one expression that everyone feels. So I'm happy that way. I think it's a good thing.
That's good. I think it's a good thing.
when that moment happens, I will be ecstatic about it. So we'll see.
Awesome.
We'll see
And I hope that comes soon, and I hope that's a big one. But I'm going to leave you with my last question, which is, you've built a fabulous community. And for me, community is huge. Networking now is a community, and I just love bringing people together. Any tips for people that are looking to build this for their brands? What do you think that's worked for the SoFit community?
I think all of the people I train, all the people who form part of this community have just kind of gelled really well. They've got along. They've been themselves. I don't even need to be there anymore. Like, I mean, VG knows let's say VG, for example, knows so many people at camp. He didn't know them before. Now they're buddies. They chill together. They hang together. They send me pictures when they're hanging together.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's amazing. So I think with the community, the one thing you need to be is honest. You need to show them that you care, that you really want to help them, and that you want to create a community of people who think the same way, and you want to kind of be that person who, well, leads them in the direction that they're not going to suffer from. I mean, in the right direction, let's put it that way. You lead them, you're honest, they trust you, they believe in you. Like, I mean, I know these guys, if I tell them tomorrow after a bloody 1 hour workout that, guys, go run down the stairs and come back up 20 times, they'll do it because they know, okay, Saurabh must be having some thought behind it. They might abuse me through the entire journey, but they know that, okay, he's not going to do it just to hurt us. Like, we trust him, he trusts us. So that's it. Just create that level of trust and camaraderie between everyone. And I think you'll grow your own community and let the community do the work. You don't need to do anything. I just let them do everything. I let them talk. I let them go out. I let them have a good time. And I just sit there and enjoy it.
Absolutely. And you've really built a fabulous community. And I personally love being a part of it. But Saurabh, I can't thank you enough. This has been great chatting with you. And thank you for being my first interview, a very special one.
You.
So thanks
Thank you
again. And I hope that everyone gets on the SoFit plan and part of the SoFit community, because it's absolutely worth it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.